Ready? Everybody ready? Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah. You ready?
Yep.
We all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Barbara, can we have a roll call, please?
Yes. Pam Adrian,
Here.
Jim Renner,
Here.
Greg Trader,
Here.
Chuck Lewis,
Here.
Charles Fisher,
Here.
Alex Rodriguez,
Here.
and myself, Barbara Kelly. All present.
Are we going to do AutoZone first or James first or?
Approval of minutes?
Oh, I'm sorry. Can I have approval of the minutes in the last session?
So moved. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes. Second. Second.
All in favor?
Gordon?
All in favor?
I can't.
All in favor?
Did you get that? Oh, aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay, safety first.
AutoZone.
AutoZone is first. Okay.
Should I begin?
Yes.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for allowing us to appear this evening. I hope everybody has been well. We have appeared before you what seems like so long ago, but actually it was just several months ago. And as you probably know, we did receive preliminary plan approval from council in February. When we appeared before you last, we, if you remember, been asking for preliminary final approval, and actually the planning commission did recommend preliminary final approval. When we went to the board, they had wanted us to clean up some of the little items, so they granted preliminary approval, and obviously we are now back for final approval. Since then, we had resubmitted the plans, and we have been working very closely with the town to clean up the little items. We believe everything is cleaned up, and we are before you for a final plan recommendation.
About every third vote.
Did you?
I have a very hard time understanding.
You have any question?
Alex, you want to go through the list, please?
So we prepared a review letter based on their first final submission. They have minor comments that really will not affect the layout of the site. As far as permitting, they still have the Pennsylvania DEP for NIPD's.
Thank you.
That's the stormwater discharge solution permit. They still need, I believe, to get the erosion and sedimentation control with the state. They have to get the SDCA sewer approval, and they have to get the PennDOT HOP approval. So the HOP, I think, is at this point maybe the biggest concern that I have on the township side of it, but it's still not going to impact planning. I mean, it's just more of just making sure that we have their traffic engineer needs to take the time to consult with the township and make sure that they're getting the township's input, because it looks like from our traffic consultant that was reviewing their application, their engineer is made a statement that they had discussions with the township, but I'm not aware. They can maybe, unless they did, and then they can maybe let us know who the township that they had discussions with the HOP.
Hi, this is Greg Newell, Nate Newell. It's my understanding the traffic consultant for AutoZone, David Horner had a conversation with Catania's office about that item a number of months ago, and that's why we have the item that we do, Alex.
Is it Lisa Catania that you're saying?
I believe so, yes.
Well, we will still have to make sure that, that the audible pedestrian signal is something that the township does not wish to have. But other than that, like I said, I think we're at a level where the plans are definitely still need a couple of minor tweaks. We still have a lot of permits we have to do, but I don't believe it's really at a point where we need to have it come back to planning commission. And I think Greg has been doing an excellent job in trying to resolve the issue. So I have the confidence in him making the, following through with the minor items.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions?
Yes, I do. Jim Renner speaking. So this plan comes back to us with a retaining wall, ballards, and a fence, which I thought was eliminated at one point.
Yes, it is eliminated.
So is it, what do we have? Do we have a retaining wall?
No, they graded it at 3-to-1 slope going down to the property.
Okay, and no fence?
Greg, did that a security or privacy fence? I mean, I guess it was security.
No.
Huh?
There's a fence around the trash enclosure, but there's no other fence in the property.
Okay.
I didn't understand your answer, Greg. You broke up.
I'm sorry. There is a fence around the trash enclosure, or the fence is the trash enclosure, but there's no other fence on the property.
Okay, so C 3.1 references the fence, the retaining wall, and ballards. So that print should be revised. And the trash enclosure, you'll remember we asked that the trash enclosure not be built with pressure treated lumber because it becomes so unsightly in only a year. We would prefer to see that in some type of impervious PVC or anodized aluminum or something that's going to retain its aesthetic appeal. How would you answer that question?
I think that's fine, right?
That's fine.
Okay. I think that's the only questions I have.
Mr. Trader, do you have any questions?
No.
Mr. Fisher?
No.
Mr. Lewis?
No.
Should we call for a vote? Do you have public comments on this or no?
Okay, if anybody wants to public comment on the AutoZone, can you please *6 to unmute and speak now? I don't see any. I don't see any. Wait a minute. Andrew, do you see any? I don't. No, I don't see any public comment.
Okay, with the items that Alex have mentioned, they're all, I guess, will comply.
Yes, they are.
As long as the rule complies are in place, I think we should take a vote and the conditions are met.
I would offer that the condition that trash enclosure details be such that it's aesthetically pleasing with either aluminum or PVC type of material.
Mhm.
Can you hear
That
him?
should be submitted
Yes.
to Al for his approval. Would that be okay with you if they submit that to you for approval?
That condition also.
Mhm.
And the language on the sign.
So you put the condition with the, that they'll satisfy the engineer's letter, review letter, and then.
And Jim's condition.
Okay, all those conditions are satisfied and everything is going to be answered and it all will comply. So ready for a vote? Mr. Renner,
Yes?
Mr. Trader?
No? Yes?
Mr. Lewis?
Sorry. Well, you looked at me, yes.
Mr.
What's wrong?
Fisher?
Yes.
And I also am yes.
4-1. To submit to the Board of Commissioners.
Right.
Great. Thank you very much. Stay healthy, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a nice night. Be safe. Be safe.
It passed 4-1.
4-1 to recommend it to the Board of Commissioners for approval. Okay.
Okay, and as we have no public comment and everything is approved, we'll go to Jake's Fireworks.
Good evening, everyone. I'm trying to keep my voice up. My name is John Jarrett. I'm traffic to the applicant. With me this evening, we've got four engineer applicants behind me, and the only representative, Skip Clinton, is in the evening. To refresh the planning commission's recollection, we received preliminary land development plan approval in February of this year, and then we did that met with 13 conditions from the council. We then proceeded to submit final land development plan approval. Review letters have gone back and forth, and I believe the last two were a review letter dated March 30th, 2020 from Commision Engineering, and then a response from GD Eaton & Son dated April 21st, 2020. We're here this evening asking for a recommendation on final plan approval. The site is behind me on the site plan. I'm here to, with help from Matt, answer any questions the planning commission may have. If you recall, this is the Jake Fireworks property located in the C1 zoning district of the township at the corner of Chichester Avenue and Johnson Avenue. Existing block buildings will remain, and construction of a larger building to the west over the footprint of the prior hotel apartment will go as part of the plan, go up as part of the plan. Again, we didn't see any significant issues. I know there'll probably be a number of conditions to carry forward from preliminary to final, more specifically conditions 6 through 13. But again, we're here to answer any questions the planning commission may have.
Okay? Alex, do you want to, I don't have it in front of me, so do you want to go through?
Well, I'll go through basically what came about recently. The biggest issue is just taking it out. But the PennDOT HOP permitting process, we were a little we were not sure how they were able to come back time after time saying that they did not need that, PennDOT to review the ramp, the corner, the driveway entrance, sidewalk, curb. So we were asking for documentation. And when they just recently provided a correspondence of the email that they presented to PennDOT saying that they only had to put this up right of way. It was one of those coincidences where I was looking at it and talking to somebody about it, and our surveyor in our office happened to be walking in my office for another issue, and overheard us talking about it, and he happened to be assisting the township because the township put out a streetscape project that was along Chichester Avenue. And he said, "Oh, I recall that it should be a 62-foot right of way out along Chichester." So that basically then justified where they were coming from with they didn't need it, because when they made the presentation of PennDOT, the improvements were up on private property in PennDOT's money. Now that it's on PennDOT's property, because they have to shift what the plans are showing from a 50 to a 62-foot right of way, they're going to not go back to PennDOT and get full money to use the driveway, sidewalk, and the DDA ramp. And the PennDOT could trigger, but that's still, that's a tradition within state road. What the fallout from that right-of-way issue is that now the zoning tabulation, the lot area that they were showing that got approved with the lot consolidation previously, that area is slightly reduced than what they got reported before, because the right-of-way was shown as 50, and that line moves towards the building. The lot area was reduced. So Matt already had a phone call conversation with me today where he looked at those zoning issues, and if you want to go through it, Matt pretty much feels that it's not really going to create anything, but he has to just definitely update the plans, and I believe he said that in order to try to avoid confusion, that the new set of plans, he's going to retitle the cover sheet so that it also identifies that this is like a lot line adjustment, also so that we don't have people trying to look at two different plans and assume that the one is for lot consolidation is correct, and maybe it's a typo on the later plan. So if Matt wants to explain that part, it's all doable.
Yeah, if I could, just to elaborate a little bit on what Alex said. When we were developing plans, we contacted PennDOT. There was a specific procedure for someone to research and have PennDOT determine what the right-of-way width is. You fill out a form, you attach site plans, we wrote a cover letter, very specific on where we were, and the information that we got back from PennDOT with their right-of-way docket was that the right-of-way for Chichester Avenue at this location is 45 feet wide. And in our plans way back when, we widened it to 50 feet wide. So our plans have always been developed with the information that PennDOT provided to us, telling us what their right-of-way is. As Alex stated, his office found, I guess it was actually plans for I-95, which found for sites to the west. Their right-of-way plans had come around off 95 and down Chichester Avenue just past Johnson Avenue. And indeed, the right-of-way on those plans was a total of 62 feet wide instead of 50 feet wide. Difference of 12 feet, 6 feet on our side. But again, we wish that PennDOT would have given us that information when we requested it at the time. And it's actually too bad Alex's office didn't find it a little earlier. It would have helped us out. But all that being said, I think I agree with the plan that Alex shared with me, that was a condemnation plan. And I didn't completely verify, but I have a very strong opinion that plan is a plan of record, and the right-of-way width at Chichester Avenue should be 62 feet. So what does that do to our plan? We had a 50-foot wide right-of-way, and we actually had a sidewalk easement immediately north or adjacent to the right-of-way of Chichester Avenue, which was, for most part, wider than 6 feet. So in terms of encumbrance, an encumbrance on this property, the additional 6 feet of right-of-way moving up in the northerly direction is still within the proposed sidewalk easement that's on the plan. So the site is not further encumbered. In terms of minimum lot area, since that's now a legal right-of-way, the area of this lot does shrink slightly, but we're still way above the required 12,000 square feet minimum lot area. We're at 25,000. So that's really not an issue for a strip of ground, 6-foot wide road with Chichester Avenue. Since the lot area gets somewhat smaller and the building area stay the same, the building coverage percentage goes up slightly, but again, it's still within the zoning requirements of the upper Chichester zoning code. And uniquely, actually, the impervious coverage goes down because all of the area that we're losing is proposed impervious. So as a percentage, based on lot area, we have more green area and less impervious coverage, with that very slight reduction in lot area. Now, as far as what's proposed on this plan, nothing has changed in terms of the improvements that you all saw at the preliminary plan stage. In terms of the additional green area, the fencing along the alley in the back, the conformance with the Chichester Avenue streetscape plan, street lighting, landscaping, green area, that's all the same. Nothing has changed. When we went to, after the preliminary plan, or actually during the preliminary plan process, we approached PennDOT to give an HOP for curb work. And we provided them our plans and our information. And they said, you don't need a permit for us because the curb was just outside the district right of way. Actually, it was almost the same line, which you see from time to time at PennDOT, not very often, but from time to time. Now that the right of way is 6 feet further into our site, we will definitely have to go to PennDOT to get a HOP to do the construction within their right of way, and that is the replacement of the curb along Chichester Avenue. So we fully expect any action by the Planning Commission tonight to be conditioned upon us getting the PennDOT approval for the curb replacement along Chichester Avenue.
Question.
Yes.
So the southwest corner of your property where the one-story building is to be built.
Right.
If that wall were to be built where you're proposing it, and the right-of-way were to be used, we would have no sidewalk whatsoever. Unless you pull that wall back.
Well, again, nothing's changing there. That sidewalk is still going to be upgraded and reconstructed in front of the building.
But if they were to widen the street the additional 6 feet, there would be no wall.
Oh, if they ever did that, yeah. I mean, you've got a street with 2 lanes each way there. I do not expect that.
Why wouldn't you pull your building back 6 feet to accommodate that?
Well, there's been I guess, tacit approval or agreement, I should say, and John can correct me if I'm wrong, that when the applicant tore down the prep building there, that they were allowed to build the building back in place on the same foundation. They actually have all their building plans ready, finalized for a building as configured on the plan presented to the board tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, but this is kind of a game changer, isn't it?
Not for me, it isn't.
Okay.
And I'd also like to add, and Matt is absolutely right, that was the agreement with the township, that we build a new building over the footprint of the old building. But I also like to remind the planning commission, that was 1966.
Yeah.
So my math is right, that's 44 years plus 20, that's 60. 64 years, and PennDOT has done nothing with respect to widening that right of way to improve. So I think it might be another 66 years before anything in that regard right now.
Are you going to have to take any space out of the parking lot or anything to accommodate this?
Yeah.
Bless you.
again, that, for the most part, I mean, there's a little sliver here on the far westerly side. For the most part, that right of way falls into the sidewalk area that we are providing based on your streetscape plan, which I think it's dimensions. So it's the curb, it's a decorative band of brick or sand concrete, and then I think it's 6 foot out, 6 foot wide sidewalk. That's what's shown there. So that right of way widening still is through, for the most part, right through our sidewalk.
Yeah, but the streetscape calls for wider sidewalk, and that's not wide enough.
No, our plans and that was part of the program disciplinary. We had to adapt our plan and widen our sidewalk to agree with the Chichester Avenue streetscape plan.
No, I'm talking about down here at the end of the building.
Oh, there it has to narrow because of the building.
Then that's not going to follow the streetscape.
Nor does it. Now remember, just past there, you've got the bridge to 95, and you can't have the streetscape there either. It's not like it's going to be an island, non-conforming island. The actual, this curb width, curb and sidewalk width follows right over the overpass. And you get buttons on the overpass.
So we still need a little sliver of pedestrian access, so it's not fully within the edge of the sidewalk.
Yes, yes, we will.
But you would still be, so the ADA ramp still has to be, you might have that also, the sidewalk.
Sure, once we've gone over the plan with the curb work, we're going to want everything to do with the ADA ramps. Yeah. I actually have a question. I have it for Alex. Alex, if in fact everything that we just heard, and taking into consideration Jim's concerns, would PennDOT look to their right-of-way in providing for their approval here, considering the possibility that it would extend into where the building actually is?
Yeah, during their review, if for some reason they knew they had something planned down the road of some sort, they would probably approach them during the review, so they would need an additional statement. So,
All right, so if
like that, and like that.
right, so if Jake's were to go to PennDOT with respect to the ADA ramp and their letter of approval and everything, and PennDOT gave it its blessing, all right, then at least my concern would be satisfied that as long as
I mean, when they go to PennDOT, just like you saw with the autism, when they go to PennDOT, because of all that is now in their right of way, you might see PennDOT requesting maybe a pedestrian push button or something. They might ask them to put the ramp on the other side, right? I mean, you never know what PennDOT's going to. You're talking relevant with their concerns, but I mean, they're going to look at it a little bit more thorough from their end of it. So, but before, when it was basically just a moving on private property, now that's PennDOT's going to have a different perspective. So, well, the plans originally were showing that it looked like there was going to be sidewalk and driveway improvements within private property. Now that right away pushes towards the property line, it becomes PennDOT's responsibility as far as how it improves and maintains. The owner always has to, unfortunately, bear the maintenance of the improvement within the right of way. But PennDOT dictates what goes in there and what standards and criteria. So that'll be under a much stricter review from PennDOT.
Another question. What happens if PennDOT comes back and says your building has to be 6 feet shorter because we're going to improve the road?
It'll be picky. You have to give that. It'll be a whole process of. And I don't think they're going to run into that because you probably would have heard about it even if it was a question. But,
Yeah, I don't know. again, at that location, you have 4 lanes of travel there. It lines up with the overpass. I really, not the least of it, but in 62 foot wide.
Actually, I would think the date of everyone is really. But I'm saying that would be really bad.
So if I can just clarify then, if in fact PennDOT came through, looked it all over and said, okay, we're fine with this just as it is. We recognize that it's moving in towards our right of way, but we're okay with it.
It's not moving it to the right of way now, it's them realizing.
No, it's realizing that
it was theirs all the time.
It's their right of way, and they're saying, we're okay with the plan as it's being submitted. You build your building, and then PennDOT comes down the road and says, hey, we've looked this over and we want to widen the street. Then we're involved with, not the township, but then PennDOT's involved with the possibility of saying, okay, we need to provide for the sidewalk and we need to have you modify your building accordingly to accommodate that, et cetera, et cetera. That's not going to be the township's problem.
Right. So there's kind of 2 projects.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's what I was going to say.
That's what I finally wanted to get to. At that point, if PennDOT gives us its blessing, that later problem, if it did come up, would be PennDOT's concern with respect to doing everything to make the correction or whatever they need to do. Fine. Thank you.
Someone's asking to speak up because the people in the audience, I know there's not a lot of them, but they're asking to speak up a little bit. But we're clear on Facebook.
Anybody else have any questions? No? Do we have any input from the public at this point?
Will you please *6 to unmute yourself if you'd like to speak on this project?
Anybody?
I don't hear anyone. Do you? Nope. No.
Mr. Lewis or Mr. Fisher, do you have any other questions?
No, I'm satisfied.
It just seems to me a little silly to put 6 feet on the building and then have to take it off later, that's all. Okay, I guess we will put it to a vote for passing or no. Mr. Renner?
No.
Mr. Trader?
No.
Mr. Lewis?
No.
Mr. Fisher?
Yes.
I know, I'm sitting here thinking, because I still have a problem with it being so close to a residential neighborhood. So I'm also going to vote no. But it's not up to us, they have to go before the Board of Commissioners.
If I could add, planning commission would indulge me, the votes for no, aside from last point, is it related to the PennDOT right-of-way issue, or is it something else?
Well, I can speak for myself. I'm frustrated that if you're building a new building, that you don't provide the proper side yard setback. I see no reason why you couldn't have come to us with a plan to do that. It's further exasperated by this issue with the right-of-way. Bridges don't last forever. That bridge will need to be replaced, probably not in my lifetime, but sometime. And that's going to interfere with that construction activity, in my opinion. My opinion also is that a fireworks is going to be very much a detriment to the local community. And I think protecting their interest is our primary responsibility. So that's my reasons.
I share your concern. I'm listening down. I just don't see the proximity to a school in the area, another business of that type being there as well. Proximity to I-95. I just don't see it as a plus for the future.
I mean, I don't have a problem with the fact that it's a fireworks place. Now, the business is fine. I just don't like, I mean, we're quibbling over a couple feet at the end of the building. I would rather have the wide sidewalk and the streetscape and stuff like that as much as possible. And I see your point that, yes, the bridge is not matching the streetscape, but I would like to get as much as I possibly can of the streetscape on any of the projects. If we keep giving exceptions to, not following with the streetscape because of what's already existing, I mean, then why are we even bother with a streetscape plan with the township? That's my issue. It's not a huge issue, but that's my issue.
And I appreciate the comments, and I just wanted to remind the planning commission, we're at final plan approval. We have already obtained preliminary plan approval. So with those comments with respect to the propriety of the use, that was established as part of preliminary plan approval. I understand the comments with respect to the PennDOT right-of-way in 6 feet. And I would like to suggest that should, I don't think it's going to be likely or happen, but should PennDOT through the review process says we'd like you to keep your building out of our right-of-way. I think between the building, I'm sorry.
They want further back. They would never say we want your building further back from your legal right of way. They'd have to say we want more legal right of way and then push the building back. And I'm telling you, the chances of that happening are nil.
But if the planning commission members who got a concern about that 6 feet, if push came to shove, possibility would be to reduce the size of the building by 6 feet at the time building permit application. And I hope your engineer would agree with me that if the applicant chooses to reduce its building, and that's not a substantial amount of room, not a substantial change. So I just offer it up to you, for those of you who don't know, that that is certainly a possibility.
I'm saying I would be more comfortable with the time. I'm saying the use of it is, as I'm saying, that issue should have been addressed a long time ago. I'm saying just more with the streetscape, people having room to walk. There's a lot of roads in this township that don't even have sidewalks. I see kids walking on the street, and it's just, I'd like to try to keep consistency.
But that geometry between the preliminary plan and the final has not changed. There's been no change. The right of way has gotten closer, but the right of way is an invisible line. Nobody knows where the right of way is out in the site. It's moved. It gives the PennDOT a little more room to do work there if they choose to. And again, I think the likelihood of that is minimal because it's not like that road is a 4-lane highway.
Yeah, but even without the right of way, if you put the building on the existing foundations, you're still squeezing, you still have a smaller, you're not following the streetscape.
Understood. I mean, we've had discussions with that at multiple levels of the preliminary plan.
Yeah, I know, we've had discussions about it, and it's always just stayed the same.
Well, and again, with all due respect, it went from this body to town council, and they approved it. So I understand the points and the concerns, but there's a little bit of die cast already.
No, I understand that. They vote the way they want to vote, and I'm throwing my concern out there. I'm voting the way I want to vote.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
Do you want to say anything, Alex? No?
They still have to come back to the Board of Commissioners, correct?
Do you want Mike Pierce to have any say or any speak?
Hold on a second. That's a very good idea.
Mike,
Yes.
Pam was asking if you wanted to say anything at this moment.
Well, I certainly can. I do know that the township wanted that building based on the same footprint, which is why they had it demolished. So Matt is correct, and Mr. Jaros is correct about that. That was the agreement, and that was how it was to proceed. As far as their requirement for the highway occupancy permit. I think that that's been addressed appropriately. If PennDOT requires them to do something, yes, then they are going to have to do it from that end. As far as the actual operation of the business, I mean, they're entitled to operate that business in that area under the current zoning, and any regulation related to the operation of a fireworks store in particular is specifically regulated by the state. We don't have any bearing or don't have any real input on that. That is, any licensing and operation of that, so long as it comports to the zoning, is strictly within the state mandates. I certainly understand the concern that folks may have, but the landowner, either fortunately, or maybe unfortunately, in some people's opinion, does have rights and do have rights to operate the business as they see, as long as it's within the state regulations as well as the zoning. So I just want to emphasize that we're not here to decide whether or not they can operate the fireworks store. We're here to decide whether or not the plan is appropriate within the zoning and within the rules and regulations, and the potential conditional approval based on those plans.
Just maybe take a second here and just think about it, and then we'll re-vote.
Well, I was actually going to vote yes before until that came up. And everybody else has to comply with the streetscape all the way down the property line. I mean, I don't like the idea, and I think it's not good for the neighborhood. There's residents right there, but everything, if they comply, we have to vote yes. And like I said, I was going to until that came up, and I have myself dealt with PennDOT, and no.
Again, the right-of-way issue which just appeared this Monday. We've been at this for 2 years, and then we get a plan Monday about the right-of-way. After we went through the proper procedures to get the PennDOT right-of-way from PennDOT itself, that was on the plan that Township gave preliminary approval for. We didn't adjust anything for the right-of-way. That's the way it was back in February, March, and that's the way it is now. Nothing there has changed.
My concern is, because I personally dealt with them, that they might come along and take extra stuff. Trust me, I know.
I respect that, but we deal with PennDOT every day.
I know, but that to me is a concern.
If I could just try and explore that, your statement was you were going to vote yes.
Reluctantly.
Reluctantly, until that.
Mm-hmm.
But as Matt points out, that hasn't changed. Physical improvements haven't changed.
As I understand this, Pam, and as I think Mike just mentioned on the phone here, on the conference call, the township has agreed previously, before I think this even got put into place, that if they rebuilt on that same footprint, they were okay with it.
Oh yeah, I understand.
So none of that's changed. And the sidewalk and everything else that we're asking for, again, is in conformance with what we previously looked at. So my concern here was simply the HOP, and if they're able to get PennDOT to give them that, I'm of the opinion that it fits the zoning, it fits what the township had previously asked for, and that the applicants comply with everything we've asked for so far. And Board of Commissioners, in my opinion, are aware of the streetscape, and they approved the preliminary plan. That hasn't changed. So, I mean, that's the reason why I said yes.
And I think that that's accurate. I think what you're dealing with is, any approval or vote for approval or conditional approval is conditioned upon the applicant obtaining any and all necessary permits. That would go before the Board of Commissioners. And as part of those permits that they would have to obtain, they're going to have to apparently obtain a highway occupancy permit, but that's on the applicant. So if they're able to get it either through negotiation with PennDOT or however that's going to go, then, then that satisfies that particular condition.
I don't know whether to call for another vote or not.
If there was a misunderstanding, you can call for another vote.
I didn't misunderstand anything because you personally answered my one other reservation I had. So,
I'll make a motion to call for another vote.
You second, you said? Yes, yes.
but guys, I don't know what to do.
There's a
That
motion.
really bothers me.
There's a motion on the floor.
I know.
Okay.
All right, well, we'll take another vote. Is that all right,
Well,
Mr. Pierce?
Yes.
you have to,
Yes. If there, I think that there was sufficient misunderstanding that I would at least have another vote just to clarify everybody's position and see where they are.
you have to take a vote. There's a motion on the floor.
Okay, I'd like to take a vote for the motion on the floor to give
No, to
Jake's Fireworks
say,
another vote to see if anyone has changed their minds now that everything has been explained. How's that? Mr. Renner?
Yeah, you would need a second. Yep.
Anybody want a second?
They did a second.
Craig did.
They had a second already. There was a
Gotcha.
motion.
Okay, I couldn't hear it. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. There was a motion and a second, and then basically to ask if you want to have another vote.
Okay.
Correct.
Mr. Renner?
This is asking if you want to have another vote.
Do I want to have another vote?
Yes.
Yes, I do. No. Yes.
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 Okay.
Okay. Mr. Renner?
Now that I have a deeper understanding, I will say yes.
Now you need another motion
The
to,
rest of myself. So yes.
I'm still going no because of the 6 feet.
Mr. Trader? Sorry.
I'm sorry. Yes, I'm still voting.
Mr. Fisher? Mr. Lewis?
No for me.
Mr.
Yes.
Fisher? And me, I'm going to say yes, but with reservations because I still don't like that with the PennDOT. So if they get their PennDOT permit and everything lines up, then they have to go, they have to go before the Board of Commissioners.
so a 3-2 vote in favor of the planning commission going to the Board of Commissioners for approval.
3 no's.
3 yeses.
3 yeses, 2 no's, 3-2. Okay. Going to the planning commission.
Yep.
Conditional final.
Yeah, conditional final, and then to the Board of Commissioners. With the PennDOT permit and all the other things that Alex listed that are on the condition list being approved.
Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Mike, for your input.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
Oh, we did public comments. You want
Okay.
public comments? If you want to *6 for the public, if you want to *6 to unmute, if you have any other public comments for any other planning items. I'm looking. I don't see any. Do you? No. Okay.
Okay, to go to the next item on the agenda. Okay, let me find it first.
The 800 Galbraith is going to be continued.
Okay. So I already got that, you said it had something to do with the family, so that, we'll continue that, so. I guess we will have, wait a minute. Where's the agenda? Okay, Heart and Soul is next. And we have a speaker, who's Judy.
Charles, do you want to introduce?
Yeah, I'd like to introduce, if I could, Judy Stang, who is the chairperson, president, whatever you want to call her, give her a title, she'll take it, of the Heart and Soul of Upper Chichester. We'd like to say a few words on behalf of some of the recent activity that we've been experiencing at Heart and Soul.
I just wanted to take a few minutes to bring you up to date. My name is Judy Stang, and I live in the Gardendale section of Upper Chichester Township on Plum Street. And we wanted to let you know that we are doing some pretty exciting things to bring residents, businesses, and other stakeholders to be involved in where in the future Upper Chi may want to look at, what their thoughts are and their values. We have spent time over the last year collecting 1,000 data points through testimonials, surveys, and meeting with people in various locations through activities that have gone on, from job fairs to the high school, parent-teacher meetings, and other community events. We are in the process of collecting 170 surveys as a way in which to reach more people. Our goal is to be able to obtain 350 to 500 surveys. So as you see those surveys coming out, please encourage people to answer them and send them back. And if you get the opportunity to fill one out yourself, we would very much appreciate that. Currently, as a result of a summit that we held at the end of February, we found that our community valued and had some values that they sat down at that summit and they discussed. And right now, we're in the process of making sure that these value statements are true and are what people in Chi want the values to be reflected. So every Wednesday, beginning last week and we'll follow through to the end of July, we have taken each value statement and set it aside to have what is called a Chi Chat. This coming Wednesday at 7 p.m., the Chi Chat will be about economic development, and Charlie Fisher and Barbara Kelly will be leading that discussion. If you would like, and we really invite you, and we ask that you invite other people that you know, come and join us on that Zoom meeting. I think you will find that what you hear there from people who attend a variety of stakeholders, you will hear people talk about what they value, and sometimes a robust conversation about what we need to discuss further in Chi. So I want to thank Barb and Charlie for leading that. Charlie, do you have anything you want to say?
This particular Chi Chat that Judy referred to is specifically about economic development. And we all made a pledge the other day at our last Chi Chat meeting that we would encourage at least 3 people that we knew to attend the next meeting so that we would have a higher degree of participation from the community. So I am inviting the rest of the Planning Commission to tune in to this week's Chi Chat. We'll make sure you get the information necessary to come on. You can actually call in, or you can actually participate, just like there are people who are participating today from the public. And anyone who's out there listening right now in the public view, you're invited as well to attend. And this is an opportunity to hear what people think about the economic development within our community. And hopefully we'll have a couple interesting views from the people, the public itself. So I encourage you to attend that, and I encourage you to mention to anyone you know, to ask them if they would also participate. You will have a link, you can share it with them. This is not a secret society. We would like as many people within the community to participate as we possibly can. Thank you.
And I also want to remind you that, as Charlie said, next week on Wednesday at 7 p.m., we will be discussing economic development. The following week, on July 8th, we're going to be talking about recreation and open space. We are going to, on the 15th of July, discuss location and access, and on 7/22, safety, and 7/29, education. Each of those nights are a Wednesday, and they are at 7 p.m. If you go to our newsletter, which is Good Deeds, which the Pennsylvania Humanics Council is saying is one of the best, you can find information about each one of these chats. If you go to our website, you can find it. And if you need more information, you can call Barbara Kelly at 610-485-5881. Or you can call me, Judy Stang, at 215-292-4052. And again, on each of these nights, you can call in as the public did tonight, or you can Zoom in through the information that we can provide for you. So please take out some time to do that. And I thank you for allowing me to come. And I have a little gift for you to take home. So I'm going to put my mask on. If you have any questions, Bart can answer.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you, Judy.
Charles, do you have any other comments
Now,
concerning the Heart and Soul or the Linwood Heights project?
Barbara might fill you in a little bit more on Linwood Heights.
Linwood Heights is in the process of the Board of Commissioners review. So we are getting the review of the commissioners before we do the final presentation to the Board of Commissioners.
So that's July 1st
Yes.
at 7 p.m., right?
Correct.
Okay.
And you will be able to actually join conversation. It's all just conversation. It's not, you're actually part of the meeting.
That'll be on the Upper Chai website.
Yeah, and I can send it to you. I actually sent it to you, but I'll send it to everybody, yes. It'll be on the website, and it's also on the Heart and Soul website. Thank you.
Judy, we all just wanted to say thank you for the excellent job that the Heart and Soul team is doing. Really wonderful. Really great. Thank you.
Thank you. And they thank you, because believe me, it's not all just one person.
We realize that. That goes for everyone.
Okay, do we have any other topics to cover? Thank you, Mr. Warner.
Next meeting.
Okay, our next meeting is July 23rd at 7 p.m. And if that's all, then I guess we're going to adjourn the meeting. A motion to adjourn?
Aye.
Second?
Aye.
I guess we're adjourned.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.